Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP and crypto. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk a little bit about XRP and we're going to talk about everything else that's going on around crypto right now. So Coinbase calls out regulators on crypto deposit cap. Coinbase just hit the FDIC with the Freedom of Information Act request, demanding they justify the digital asset deposit cap banks might be slapping on crypto firms. They want the receipts, docs, and emails between regulators, banks, and even the press. I like the fact that Coinbase is getting all of this information out there. You know, even when you try to buy crypto on Uphold, sometimes your bank doesn't want to work with Uphold. You have to go through an alternative on-ramping solution, whether it be a credit card or something else. Same thing with Coinbase. The banks don't want you investing your money into crypto. They also like to put a cap on how much money you could spend on crypto on a daily basis. I think it's also going to be a problem when you off-ramp from an exchange as well. There's going to be a daily cap on that as well. Coinbase's Freedom of Information Act turns up 23 letters from FDIC to banks asking them to pause crypto activities in 2022. The FDIC argues that every single one of them is covered by the Freedom of Information Act Exemption 8 as part of an ongoing inquiry inspection investigation. Infinite investigation glitch. If you investigate the activity forever, you never need to state or defend your position in court. So it wasn't only the SEC trying to keep us out of crypto, it was also the FDIC and the big banks as well. You know, the banks want you cashing your check, putting your money into a checking account or a savings account, because that allows the bank to make money off of your money. You never make money by putting your money in a checking or savings account, but the bank does. Remember back in 2022, cryptocurrency is not FDIC insured. Could that be because it's just a bunch of code in an anonymous computer? And this was back in 2022 as well. So they're saying that crypto is not covered under FDIC. You know what else isn't covered under FDIC insurance? If a handful of banks were to collapse right now, the FDIC cannot cover all of that money. Remember the video I played for all of you where the FDIC was talking about bail-ins? The reason they're talking about bail-ins because they know bail-ins are coming. We are going to see more banks collapse out. The banks are not safe. I still think it's safer for me to store my money in XRP. And, you know, at some point, I'm going to get financial freedom. The bank does not offer financial freedom. Fiat will not fade away. It will evolve. CBDC equals the future of fiat. You take notice how they always try to spice up a CBDC. Don't worry, you're still going to have all the same options you have with cash with a central bank digital currency. And even some members of Congress suggest that CBDCs are largely theoretical. Well, then why was the Fed meeting behind closed doors in Washington talking about a digital dollar all the way back in 2020? Right now, we most likely have a digital dollar ready to deploy whenever the next crisis shows up, because those meetings were going on all throughout the current administration. They're ready for a digital dollar. Here's the way I look at it. If Harris wins, we get a CBDC. If Trump wins, we get a digital dollar stablecoin. It's the same thing. It's just different fancy wording when you're talking about a central bank digital currency. This is the path we have to go down in the United States because every other country is already getting ready to roll out a central bank digital currency. Russia and the BRICS are fast tracking everything. I still think that announcement is going to come from the Treasury, most likely at some point next year. And here's Paul Ryan, former Speaker of the House. Stablecoin regulation would embed the US dollar into the global digital economy and create trillions in new demand for US Treasury bonds, bills, and notes. Do you agree stablecoin regulation would create trillions in new demand for US Treasury bonds? They are trying to spin the narrative that we need to push into the digital age. But going into the digital age means that the United States gets a CBDC, and there's no other path forward. French billionaire Philippe Arguelier released 4 databases that exposed the 38 individuals behind the shadow government. BlackRock is a major globalist operative, like I've been saying all along. Does it surprise you to see one of the top oligarchs is Bill Gates? And you see it right here. Warburgs, Netherlands royal family, Bill Gates, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bush family, the Vatican, Wallenbergs, and the British royal family. Then you see the globalist operatives, UN, the World Economic Forum, Larry Fink and BlackRock, IMF. The list goes on. And we're invested in XRP. And Ripple is also tied to the World Bank, the IMF, the BIS, the World Economic Forum. JP Morgan Chase also is planning to utilize XRP for on-demand liquidity. The Federal Reserve. And that's how you know what you're invested in. That's the future. That's how you are going to get financial freedom. I still think XRP is your only way to break away from a CBDC. You have to get rich off of this. This is your one shot to break away from the CBDC. Because do you honestly think that any person that has money is going to be living on a CBDC system, having the government track all of their purchases? Absolutely not. They're going to have an alternative system for the rich. Anybody tied to government money is going on universal basic income and the CBDC system. Robinhood's Q3 crypto trading volumes increased to $14.4 billion, more than double from last year. And I expect that number to go much higher because once crypto starts to break out, once Bitcoin sets another new all-time high, we are going to see so many people pouring into crypto over the coming months. I'm telling you, this is going to be an absolutely exciting time ahead. Bitcoin is in trouble. If nothing changes soon, things won't be pretty. I'm not talking about the halving schedule or block rewards. It's much more serious than that. And this comes from a Bitcoin maxi. And this is what I've been telling you all along. As Bitcoin goes mainstream, fees to transact on its network will replace block rewards. This will be gradual and take place over decades. However, a new problem is starting to emerge. It was harder to predict this, but now it's here. He goes on to talk about wrap Bitcoin and so on. It's not moving equals no fees. That value is moved to Ethereum and other networks instead. This is just the tip of the iceberg. He's talking about every time they wrap Bitcoin. As DeFi grows, more and more Bitcoin will sit and do nothing on its native chain, and that value is exported out via wrap tokens. BitGo has wrap Bitcoin. Coinbase has CB Bitcoin. Kraken has K Bitcoin. Threshold has T Bitcoin. Do you think this stops here? What about in 10 years? I don't think Bitcoin even has 10 years for this to happen. Same thing is going to happen to Bitcoin over Flare as well. This year, Bitcoin got 11 ETFs approved. Together, they bought over $20 billion worth of Bitcoin so far. Where is all that Bitcoin? Sitting in a wallet with some custodians, doing nothing. Plus, the ETFs on NASDAQ are selling and buying ETF tokens, not native Bitcoin coins. This is what I've been telling you all along, and now some Bitcoin maxis are starting to figure it out. Here's what's going to happen next for Bitcoin. It's going to become tokenized, and it's going to be running across networks like the XRP ledger, Stellar Network, most likely XDC Network, Hedera's network. That's the future for Bitcoin. And anybody that could put their greed aside can see it coming. But most of these Bitcoin holders are so greedy, and they're listening to Michael Saylor and Larry Fink, and they think that it's going to be up only from here. Yet BlackRock is going to be the ones controlling where Bitcoin goes. They're going to take all the volatility out of Bitcoin. They're going to make it attractive to institutional investors. Because what was the one thing that institutional investors don't like? Volatility. They have to make the price of Bitcoin more stable. And then above that, you got to look at what's going on with Tether. If Tether collapses out, it's taking Bitcoin with it. And a lot of people still cannot bring themselves to admit that. But Tether has been printing Tether, fake value, out of nothing for years. And that's been ending up in the price of Bitcoin all along the way. Robin Brooks is not impressed by recent Bitcoin rally. Robin Brooks, former chief economist at the Institute of International Finance, continues to insist that Bitcoin is just another bubble asset, despite the substantial gains that were recently recorded by flagship cryptocurrency. Right now, what's going on with Bitcoin is this. There's so much belief in it. Everybody thinks it could go higher and higher, but that bubble is going to pop. And when it pops, all the belief is going to be gone out of Bitcoin. But right before that bubble pops, BlackRock, Saylor, Franklin Templeton, they're all going to be out. And all the retail that's sitting in Bitcoin is going to be their exit liquidity. How the US Fed thinks a Bitcoin ban could preserve deficit spending. Whenever the Fed is talking about this or even suggesting this, you know it's not good going forward. I don't think they're going to ban it right now. I think that's going to come later. I still think Bitcoin is going to have a fabulous run-up. I think it's going to come in somewhere between 100 and 120K. But I think this is the last major run for Bitcoin. People are already anticipating 2028. And they're shilling it too. They're saying, if you think this run's going to be something, you're going to want to continue to hold for 2028's run because it's going to be so much bigger. We're going to see 1 million plus for Bitcoin by then. What that's all about is trapping retail inside of Bitcoin, because you're going to see any smart money leave Bitcoin once utility takes over the crypto space. And you're going to see tokenized Bitcoin on the XRP ledger. It's just a matter of time. That was the very first use case for the XRP ledger. $953 billion was wiped out of the US stock market today. You know, I said it multiple times. The only people making money in the stock market are people that already have money and insider traders. Everyone else ends up losing money in the stock market. But I also believe that the stock market is also going to have one more last blow off top, and then we're going to see a major correction. People are still expecting a 50% correction in the stock market. Commercial real estate foreclosures just soared by 48% plus nationwide, with places like California seeing a 238% increase over the past 4 years. Rates are unaffordable and thousands of properties will flood the market now. This is much worse than 2008. Every single person out there following the real estate market is telling you a major correction is coming there as well. It's going to start in commercial real estate and domino into residential. And this is why I keep telling you, as an XRP investor, if you're looking to get into real estate, most likely next year or the following year is going to be the time to do it. Breaking news, institutional traders just sold the most amount of stocks last week in more than 9 years. In every bubble like 1929, 1987, 2001, and 2008, the last stages were when institutions started dumping on the bag holding retail, which buy it up. This bubble will pop as well. They're all telling you what's coming next. All you got to do is stay invested in XRP. You're about to make a lot of money because during every crash, the DXY plummets. When the DXY plummets, crypto skyrockets in price. That's what I'm expecting to happen here. I think the rest of this year, all we're waiting on is Bitcoin dominance to start falling. That will lead us into alt season. The DXY will also be dropping. But if the DXY really takes a big dip, you could expect a major run for Bitcoin. I'm talking most likely 150K to 250K. I still think if that was to happen, XRP somewhere between $50 and $100 per XRP. That's how big of a run this can become. But until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.